Hello, everybody. A very good evening and welcome to our bi-weekly lunch webinar again. So thank you so much for taking time out of your Thursday evening to join us. It definitely feels great to be here with all of you again. I know it's like we are doing this like once every 2 weeks now, but I'm like, wow, it seems like so long time ago. I think it feels like it has been like more than 2 weeks ago since we last did this. But anyway, very happy to see all of you. So want to know how are you guys, want to know how you're feeling, which country are you from? So please do a quick shout out in the chat right now. Just type into the chat box. Let us know where are you from and how are you feeling today. Okay, let's see. I see some of you who have said hi to us previously. I see Adila. Hi, Adila. Hi, Gordon. Hi, Krishan. Let's see. Hi, Viv. Yes, the rest of you, please do feel free to pop in and say hi. Yeah, we want to know who's here with us today. Hi, Gladys. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, so we have Gladys who says she's from Singapore, and Adila say that from high five from Malaysia. I love your energy, Adila. Hi, Natalie. Good to see you again. Hi, Joelle. Hi, Claudia from Indonesia. Hi, Joseph. Hi, Nicholas. Hi, Victoria. Oh, Victoria is from Hong Kong. Welcome, Victoria. Hi, Andrew, Po Chin, Chin Mei, Gordon. Yes, awesome. So many of you who have joined us and also like typing in all your welcomes. So do let us know where you're from. Do let us know how you're feeling. So thank you very much for participating, because this is very much the tone for tonight's webinar. I see a lot of you joining us from Singapore and Malaysia. So I think you know that in Singapore, unfortunately, we are kind of back to like we are now in phase 3, HA, heightened alertness, and no dining is out. And I know that in Malaysia, there's also MCO as well. How are you guys feeling about this? Are you feeling frustrated? Are you feeling like, oh my goodness, why are we back in this situation? Let us know how you're feeling. Krishan say feeling fed up. Yeah, Krishan, I know what you mean. Ivy is from Singapore. Yeah, Boon Sing say, he's feeling great. That's awesome. Gordon say feeling boring. Okay. So what about our friends in Hong Kong, Indonesia and Thailand as well? I think just now we have a friend from Hong Kong. I think the Hong Kong situation right now is a bit better. So I can see, like all the different countries are kind of like having like the different spikes as well. So not to worry. I mean, we are in this all together. So just hang in there. And if you're feeling bored, like you can always join our webinar, like what you're doing right now. And in fact, we are thinking of maybe increasing the frequency of our webinars. I think Christina is like staring at me right now. But then if there's something that you think would be of interest, due to the fact that we are in lockdown right now, do you think we should increase our frequency back to once a week? Let us know in the chat. I guess if enough people say that you want to hear more from us, maybe it's something that we can consider. But anyway, our webinars are here, is continuing. So really thank you so much for joining us tonight and being part of this lovely, awesome, super engaging and super friendly community. So with that, just want to know, are there first comers here, first time comers? Are you here for the first time? Let us know. You can just type 1 in the chat, so we know that you are here for the first time. Okay, we have Claudia, we have Shalini, we have LVYK. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, so I say LVYK. We have Boon Sing, King, Ray, Lei Kian, Johnny. Wow, quite a number of you are actually here for the first time. A very, very big welcome to you. Okay, we have Joseph say yes, that would be awesome. We've say yes, have more webinar. You mean say weekly webinars could be great. June say yes, increase the webinar frequency will be good during MCO time. Okay, so Christina and May, you can see that that's what our webinar attendees are saying. So maybe we can go back and regroup with the team and see whether this is something we can work on. Okay, so to the rest of you in the room who did not type in 1, we also want to welcome you back. That means you have been to our previous webinars before. So of course, for those of you who have joined us for the first time, just want to share with you some quick ground rules of our webinar. So as you can see, it's lots of action. We want you to be engaged. We don't want you to just be sitting there and listening. We want you to be typing in the chat. So of course, you can type in your answers in the chat, as I ask you questions. And if you do have questions later for our guest, our very esteemed guest for today, I'm sure you have, do use the Q&A box as well. So as we go along, we'll try to answer some of your questions, but definitely we will be reserving some time for the Q&A as well. And of course, we also would like to use the polling function of the Zoom webinar, and that's what we are going to do right now. So I'm going to put out the first poll. Okay, so the first poll is, where are you now at your dating journey? So you should see it in front of you. So please, yes, please participate. All you need to do is just to click on one of the answers. Okay, so it shouldn't be too difficult. I'm sure this is one of it should be your answer. And meanwhile, we have Pochin who say your energy is contagious. Jamie say love your energy. Thank you guys. I mean, I have been sitting at home for the whole day. So this is really a great time for me to engage with you guys and really, get the energy going. Yes. Okay, so 60% of the room has already answered the poll. If you have not answered, you don't want to be in the minority, right? So please answer the poll. We want to hear from you as well. So it's just one of these four answers, right? Where are you now in your dating journey? Is it number one, I'm single and haven't been going on dates for the past few months? Number two, I'm single and am actively going on dates, and third one, I'm single and currently pursuing or dating someone. And of course, number four, which is in an exclusive relationship. Okay, 70% of the room have answered. So I think more or less most of you lah. Okay, the ones that are not answering, maybe you're busy having your dinner or something. So okay, I'll forgive you. But anyway, the majority of our participants in the room tonight, it's number one. I'm single and I haven't been going on dates for the past few months. Okay, it's quite overwhelming because it's like 67%. Okay, followed by a very, very far distance, which is I'm single and am actively going on dates. Okay, that's 18%. And next is I'm single and currently pursuing or dating someone. That's 11%. And only 4% of the room right now says that I'm in an exclusive relationship. Okay, so thanks for answering. I think a lot of you guys are single, but not actively going on dates, it seems. Okay, maybe you want to share with us, like, what's the reason, like, why are you not actively going on dates? Agree, of course, like a lot of you say that, yeah, that's why, I'm single, that's why I joined LA. If not, yes, but even if you join LA doesn't mean that you are not going on dates. You could be going on dates through dating apps, or maybe friends have introduced you. So maybe just share with us, like, what are some of the challenges that you are encountering so far that is stopping you from maybe going out on dates. Let us know. What do you think? Don't be shy. Okay, so some of you say that maybe due to financial constraint. I think that's very valid, because right now with COVID, I think a lot of us are a bit uncertain of what's going to happen. Then we have Cephas, I hope I got your name correct, say that haven't found anyone to go out on dates with yet. Understand. Gordon say COVID time, hard to go on dates. Yes, I think that's also very valid, but then you can always try out virtual dates. So we did a lot of virtual dates last year during the circuit breaker, during the MCO, and actually we have quite a number of COVID couples that actually have come out of it. Aman say, I'm too shy to ask a girl out. Again, Aman, you're not alone, like in the series of webinars we have done. I think this is one of the things that guys have mentioned to us. Sometimes they're scared of rejection. So not to worry, you can always check out our previous webinars. You can just go to lunchashley.com/webinar, and there's actually a way for you to download some of our previous webinars. SH say, can't find a suitable one. Daryl say, pandemic lah, no physical date. You can also consider virtual date. Wow, okay, everybody is like very chatty tonight. There's so many more messages. Okay, I have to stop reading now because I want to go into our main topic for today, right? Okay, so before I do that, I just want to do a very quick intro of myself. So those of you who have attended this many times, you would know who I am, but of course we do have some newcomers tonight. So just want to introduce myself. My name is Violet, as you can see, and then I'm the COO and co-founder of Lunch Actually, or also sometimes known as Chief Cupid. So I actually was working in a bank and saw that a lot of my colleagues were single and not dating, and so my colleagues were kind of like the one who inspired me to start Lunch Actually 17 years ago. So right now we are in 5 different locations, and I believe the participants tonight are representative definitely of the locations that we are in, which is Singapore, Malaysia, Hong Kong, Indonesia, and Thailand. I think just want to spend a bit of time talking about our matching philosophy. So we believe that finding the right one is not just about meeting the right one. So I know some of you say that, okay, you're still single because you have not met the right one. We understand that's a big part of it, of course. But what we've also realized is that finding the right one is also about being the right one and also choosing the right one. As that's the reason why we are running our series of webinars, because we really want to pay it forward. We want to share, what we know with you, our advice, our expertise, and of course also inviting, I would say, experts to join us, like what we are doing tonight, to I hope maybe to shed some light on some of the topics that you're interested in. So of course, at lunch, actually, other than providing matchmaking services, we also have date coaching services and image coaching services, and of course, most recently, we also have launched our dating app. So our dating app is not so much like a normal dating app like Tinder, but it's really more to help our clients to I would say have a better access to our service. Okay, so with that, that's me. But I think more importantly, I really, really, really want to bring on right now our guest, a very, very special guest for tonight. So her name is Cindy Ghazali. Welcome, Cindy.
Hi,
Cindy is looking
Violet.
so awesome tonight. So Cindy is a certified meditation facilitator. She's also a leadership communication specialist, and she's the MD of this awesome company called the Golden Space. So I actually met Cindy at this organization called EO. EO stands for Entrepreneurs Organization. So after knowing what she does, and also like hearing so many good comments and good feedback from friends who have gone through her services,
Mhm.
I'm very, very excited to bring Cindy on to share her knowledge and her expertise with all of you tonight. So please give her a very warm lunch actually welcome. Please type hello in the chat right now. So Cindy, thanks for
Hello,
joining us
hello.
today. Maybe you want to introduce yourself to our audience tonight.
Yes, thank you again, Violet, for
You
having
want
me.
to tell
And
them a bit more about yourself?
yes. So I am Cindy, and I'm a leadership communications specialist as well as the managing director of the Golden Space Global. So the Golden Space Global is a total wellness organization that we help you to thrive in all aspects of your life, including relationships, health, wealth, family, and so on. And I am tuning in from Bali. And this is the beauty of COVID, that we can live and work anywhere in the world. So that's the blessing. I'm good. Yes, thank you so much. So much positive energy. And
Thank you,
I agree with
Cindy.
everyone that Violet has that
Yes.
contagious energy. Yes.
Thank you, Cindy. So when Cindy just mentioned to us earlier, because we of course joined earlier to just mic check and
Mm.
make sure everything is okay, and then Cindy say, "I'm now in Bali," and then all of us are so envious. We're like, "Oh my goodness, we wish we could be at Bali too." So not to worry, guys, hang in there. I'm sure this is not going to last forever. Borders are going to reopen soon, and one day we too can say that, just like Cindy, we can say, "Oh, we are now in Bali." So thank you so much for the intro, Cindy. I'm very excited for tonight's topic, which is, would you date yourself? I know it's like a bit like agey, but I think this is like maybe sometimes like the question that we sometimes forget to ask ourselves. I think maybe we tend
Yes.
to be quite focused on what we want in our potential partner, and then
Hmm.
some of us even have like a very long checklist. I remember having this client who came to us, and then he brought an A4 piece of paper, and then it's like every single spot in the paper is filled with a criteria. So it's also very important, I think, to be reflective, to be contemplative, to really look back and also
Mm.
work on ourselves tonight as well. So that's why I'm
Yes.
very excited that Cindy is here, because for the next 45 minutes or so, Cindy will be sharing with us, number one, how to be true to yourself. I think that's very important, because definitely, like now we always talk about authenticity and, like being true to
Hmm.
ourselves. And of course, secondly, Cindy will also be sharing with us the keys to achieving self-awareness and mindfulness in our search for the one. And of course, last but not least, face, like I'm very happy because I think someone was mentioning just now, Aman, if I'm not mistaken, who say that he is single because he does not dare to ask the girl out. So Cindy will
Oh,
also be sharing useful tips on overcoming rejection, painful past, and peer pressure. So definitely, Aman and the rest of you, you are in the right place. So do feel free to put in your questions in the Q&A, because definitely we will be reserving time later for Cindy to answer some of the questions that you might have. So let's start with our first topic. So Cindy, in your line of work, right, I mean, like,
yes,
definitely you help your clients to live a more purposeful, more balanced, and also more conscious life in that sense, really
yes,
just not just living life and letting it pass by, but just being very
mhm,
purposeful and being very intentional. So maybe you can share
yes.
with us, what this means, actually to be true to yourself. How can we actually live a life on our own terms?
So what it means that living a life of our own term is that being true to ourselves and to honor ourselves and respect ourselves enough to know what is best for us. And I believe, of course, that is a process, that is a lifelong journey. And it's something that we are still doing every single day, rediscovering ourselves and to know that we are in different phases of life and what we need right now might be different from before. Yes.
Yeah, I think that makes so much
Hmm.
sense, because
Yes.
I think a few things that sometimes we don't associate with ourselves, right? I think
Hmm.
you were saying the words like respecting ourselves, honoring
Yes.
ourselves. I think a lot of times, like, we tend to kind of like think, okay, I need to respect others, I need to like honor others, but we
Mm.
just kind of like forget that like we are a person as well. You know what I'm saying? Like we just kind of like forget
Yes.
to associate
Yes.
this very, very big important part to ourselves. So maybe Cindy, you want to share with us like what are some of the ways that our participants tonight can think of like really respecting and honoring themselves?
Yes. So one of the ways is number one, I believe that we need to reconnect back to ourselves and knowing ourselves again. Because, when we were a child, children are just very bubbly. I can imagine Violet is was a very bubbly child. And, we are just like being all of ourselves. And there is no guard, right? And we're just happy and being authentic. But then life happens, we grow up, and then we learn that, oh, there are pains and there are rejections, which we'll talk about later, so that we start to shut down. Yeah, so we need to first reconnect and know ourselves again and to know who we are again. So that is the first step. And also, I believe that we need to free ourselves from the expectation that we set on ourselves. Yeah, that we need to be a certain someone, we need to have a certain kind of success, and we need to be in a certain kind of relationship for us to be able to be accepted, for example. And then, of course, there are society's expectation, there are families' expectation that make us become the person that we probably don't like, but we kind of just live life because we feel that is what's best for us, and that's how we will be accepted by everyone. Yeah, and last but not
Definitely.
least, I believe that, just now we talk about purposeful life, intentional life. We need to know our why. Why do we wake up every day? What makes us happy? What makes us fulfilled? So from that, then we know what is best for us. And knowing that, what's the worst thing that can happen when we follow our heart, when we follow our why? And I believe that will help us attract the best experience in our life. Yes.
Thank you, Cindy, for that. I think that makes so much sense. So, what would some of your suggestions be for someone who is like looking to reconnect with their inner child or inner self? Like maybe what are some of the activities that they can do, or like
Mhm.
what direction would you point them to if that's what they are looking to do?
Yes. So, during this COVID time, I've been going out to the nature a lot. Like today, I went to the beach and just go for a walk on my own. So that is a great activities. One of the great activities that we can do to know ourselves again. And of course, reading or, something like a self-help book that we're attracted to, and writing, journaling, and of course I love mindfulness and meditation because it gives us time to be with ourselves and not distracted. Yes.
Awesome. I think those are definitely great ways, and I agree with you on the long walk. So, what I've been doing recently is really walking like every day for about 7 kilometers, and then
Mhm.
like people who hear
Wow.
that, yeah, like that's such a waste of time. You can burn equal calories by just maybe like running, for a much shorter time. But I say that's not the point. I'm doing it not
Yes.
so much just for the physical side of it, but like you say, it's really the mental side of it,
Right.
it's just connecting, just being rooted, and then of course, like I'm
Yes.
walking in the nature, so it's just a very very different feeling. So I totally agree with you
Yes.
on that. Yeah, and I think the other question that I have, right, which is on your third point, which is being purposeful, being intentional. So what
Mhm.
are some of the things that or maybe exercises our participants can do to help them to find out what their why is? Because I think sometimes people are like you say, like life happens, like when they are young, they might have a lot of dreams, they have a lot of hopes, but I think once, like life happens and adulting happen, right? Like they are like, oh,
Yes.
okay, it's just like kind of like hamster wheel. I just keep going, I don't even know like what is the point of it all.
Yes. So yeah, actually, I look up to you a lot, and just now when there is a video about you, how you discovered that people go ask for help about dating and so on. So I feel one of the ways is to see how you can help others. What kind of help do people ask you, and what are you passionate about? Yeah, maybe you're passionate about writing, you're passionate about just making a video and sharing and just giving advice, for example. So, just knowing that passion and how you can help others, it will point us to the right direction. Yes.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. And sometimes it's really as simple as that. I think
Yes.
generally, I personally also, like what you say, find a lot of happiness in helping
Mm,
others, like knowing that we have made a difference in someone's life. I think that is
yes.
really helpful. So maybe some of you, if you are willing to share or you're happy to share, you can share with us. So have you found your why? It's like what makes you happy? What makes you fulfilled?
Mhm.
Let us know right now, because I think sometimes we are just so caught up in wanting to meet the right one, want to find the right one, but we don't work enough on self work, like inner work. And I think this is also something that we talk a lot about in our webinars as well. I think, in fact, like if you all were here maybe a couple of weeks or even months ago, where Andy Chen, who is a celebrity here in Singapore, he was also talking a lot about self work. Yeah, so let us know, like, do you know your why? And you can share with us in the chat right now as well. So definitely, I think like what Cindy you have mentioned, right? I think the other part which you mentioned is really freeing ourselves from expectation, right? So I totally agree with you,
Yes.
because I think sometimes we just spend so much time worrying about what other people think about us, or worrying about meeting someone else's standard, right? I
Yes.
mean, I definitely have been there, and I believe a lot of us are there. And sometimes when I talk to young ladies, like they tell me, okay, now I'm like in my 40s, like young ladies, they was like in their 20s, they will say to me like, oh, Violet, you're so confident, blah blah blah. I say, it takes time, it comes with age. So I think it's something that, like what Cindy has shared with us, like different phases in our life, we really
Mm,
experience different things, right? So It's very important. I think just to recap what Cindy have shared with us on this, number one, very important to reconnect with our inner child. Okay, so like how like when we are
Mhm.
young, where we are so carefree and we are so happy, we really need to reconnect with that and also learn to respect and honor ourselves as well. And of course, number two, free ourselves from any expectations. Of course, like there will be societal, there will be family, but I think at the end of the day, we also need to realize that we cannot just live for other people's expectation. And of course, number three, to be very purposeful and also intentional about our why. And I love the suggestion given by Cindy on how to find our why, which is by realizing, how we can help others. Because usually when we help others, that's how we get happiness and we get contentment as well.
Yes.
Yes. So for our second topic, right, maybe Cindy, you can explain to our
Mm-hmm.
participants what is self-awareness and mindfulness. So I think these are words that's being thrown around like quite a bit.
Mm.
Like people are now always talking about mindfulness, self-awareness. But I think sometimes like we don't also really get it. Like what exactly is that? And do you have like tips for our singers, right, based on the factors of self-awareness and mindfulness? How can that help us to find the right one?
Hmm. All right. Yes. So self awareness and mindfulness is something similar. And it does takes a process. And again, being honest with ourselves, how we truly feel, and wanting to admit also, because sometimes we like to lie to ourselves, and I say we can lie to others, but we can never lie to ourselves, because when we do that, we know deep in our heart that it's you can have that feeling, right, and that heavy feeling. So that self-awareness again is being honest with yourself of where you are at the moment, and it's okay, and being compassionate with yourself enough that that you know that you are in this stage of life, and being aware how you are physically, emotionally, and mentally as well. Yep. And for me, mindfulness is about being present, right? A lot of times, we're distracted when we are doing things. Like for me, today when I walk at the beach, I have to intentionally tell myself this is a mindful walk, and don't think so much of work and other stuff, and just enjoy that walk and enjoy the sand and feel the sand, feel the breeze and feel the ocean water. So it's just really being present and being focused. And when we're really present, we are giving our 100%, right, to whatever that is in front of us, including to ourselves, to others. And when we do that, I believe the quality of our relationship with ourselves and others will improve. Yeah, I don't believe in quantity, but the quality. So mindfulness is really that focus and being present. And of course, how to achieve, there are three ways. I always love the number threes. And again, is asking that question first: would you date yourself? Yeah, and that is, of course, take a lot of self-awareness, because sometimes we're like, oh, of course, or like, oh, no, I'm not so sure about myself. That is that first step, right? Being aware, no, I don't want to date myself, and it's okay. And we will take you, there is always that journey, right? Once we're aware, to get to where we want to be. And I believe again is about going within, going to have time for ourselves, and to really reflect, to journal, to meditate. And the next one is just really enjoy being with ourselves, savor that moment, because I believe, the only person that we will live for the rest of our life is ourselves, right? I'm sure you have heard about that as well. And I really believe that if we cannot enjoy being with ourselves, who will? Yeah. And last but not least, again, is about being honest and open with ourselves. And I believe that we attract who we are, right? So if we are in that place when we don't feel good about ourselves, when we feel that we're not good enough to find that person, to be with that person, of course, we will attract more of that experience. So that self awareness will help us to get to where we want to be.
Wow, Cindy, that makes so much sense. I think the last part, right, when you say that, it really reminds me of the law of attraction. So
Yes.
I think like you say, if we constantly don't feel good and then we keep saying
Mm.
things like, oh no, I'm not good enough, I'll never find the right one. Like all the good guys out there are like dead, married, or gay. If we just keep
Yes.
reinforcing all of this, like you say, we will just end up attracting more of this maybe negative energy, or even maybe negative people into our lives, right? I think that makes so much sense. So I think maybe guys, you all can participate as well. Like, so first and foremost, the first question that Cindy has shared, right? Because Cindy have shared with us the three questions or the three ways. So first question is, would you date yourself, right? So who would like to answer that, or maybe you can just answer that right now, since only Cindy and I see it. So would you date yourself? Yes, no, and then maybe you can let us know why. I think it's a good time to really be honest with ourselves, because like what Cindy has mentioned, we need to really be honest and open with ourselves. If we can't even do that, then that definitely is going to be quite challenging as well. So would you date yourself? Let us know. So Billy say worth a try. Uh, then Ivy say 50-50. Yeah, I think those are very honest answers. Yeah, so
Yes.
totally, I think like all of us out there, like we have a lot of pros, we have a lot of great points, we will have a lot of strengths, but I agree, like all of us definitely have flaws and imperfections, and probably things that we maybe feel that like maybe some people would not like so much about us. Totally agree. CM say yes, I would. Yes, very confident. Corey say yes. Frank say sometimes.
Mm.
Wan Ying say yes with a lot of S. Adrian say yes, worth trying, but don't invest too much emotions. Okay, that's an interesting answer. So maybe Adrian, you would also like to explore like why would you say that, right? Because I think if those are some, what do you think, like Cindy? Like from Adrian's answer, what do you think?
About maybe, right? Yeah, I
Yeah,
feel
so
that
Adrian
is
say like
honest,
yes,
right?
worth trying, but don't
Yes.
invest too much emotions.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't believe that. We do
Yes.
need to
And
invest
then
emotions. Yes.
yes. And Natalie say, nope, too many baggage. Got to fix those first. So definitely a very honest answer from Natalie there. Purple say yes, because can reflect on our thought on what is happening. Krishan say yes, I've done that many times. Watch movies alone in the cinema. Dating myself have been something I've been doing for a long time. Okay, so I mean all the answers are coming in, guys. Thank you so much for sharing. Audrey say probably not, cause I'm quite self-critical. So I think again, that is a very honest answer there, Audrey. And I think just going back to the second point that was brought up by Cindy, which is enjoy being with ourselves. Because if
Mm.
we do not like ourselves, or we don't even enjoy ourselves, or we do not even love ourselves, then who will, right? So I think definitely that is something to think about. Yeah, but I am glad you are just being very honest and very authentic about it. Mm, how you feel, Po Chin say how you feel will show up in your face. If you're not willing to date yourself, that energy will show through. You don't
Mm.
even like yourself. Yeah, exactly. So
Yes.
I think totally agree. And I mean, of course, this might not seem very relevant, but I think it is. Like, so when I talk to, like, let's say my associates as well, right? Like, let's say those of them who are actually in sales, I always say that you
Mm.
don't believe in your product. If you don't believe in your product, if you don't believe in yourself, then 100% you can't sell, right? Because
Right.
like the client is going to be able to detect that. They will feel that okay, like this person who's selling this like don't even seem to have confidence in like what they are selling, right? Okay, why am I going to
Yes.
buy it, right? So same thing, like I guess when we are dating, like to a certain extent, we are a product as well, right? So if we are not
Yes.
even convinced by ourselves, or we don't feel confident, then that's definitely going to be a challenge. Wow, so many answers coming in. So thank you so
Yeah.
much, guys, for just participating in this. Joseph brought up a very interesting point. Dating myself equals to self indulgence. Dating someone is self
Mm,
realization. Interesting. Okay, so Cindy, thank you so much for sharing that, right? Because I think very important, like you say, because with self awareness and with
mm,
mindfulness, then that's where when it comes to dating, like those three questions that our singers would be able to ask themselves. And I think a lot of them have mentioned that it's definitely very insightful. And then they are like, wow, okay, maybe I never thought about this. And then I think it's great
mm,
that now our participants are starting to spend some time to think about this. So the third part, of course, for what we would like to
mm,
cover for tonight is that I think like what Arman has shared, and I'm sure a lot of our other participants tonight might be experiencing, is that of course when we start dating, like it or not, that bound to be some maybe not so positive
mm,
experiences. And for
mhm.
example, like now with online dating, with dating through apps, right? Being ghosted is like a very real situation, and it's like happens all the time as well. So
Yes.
maybe Cindy, you can help our participants out, right, by sharing your tips on overcoming rejection, or even like a painful past because of like past relationships, or even peer pressure. So what are your thoughts on this?
Right. So it takes me a long time. I remember when I was in high school, I wrote a love letter to this guy that I liked, and then I got rejected. And then, it stayed with me for a while. And when I look back, I was like, oh my God, I was so daring. And I kind of like congratulate myself for doing that. So, what I want to say is when we deal with rejection, just congratulate yourself first that actually you did something about it. Yeah, that you went all the way to just express yourself. Yeah, and second, I see that rejection, when we look at it, is a redirection. Yeah, it's like one door's closed and then we're just being told, hey, this is not the right door, so you can just go to the next door. And I believe that rejection help us to not waste time on something that maybe that is not meant to be for us. And yeah, so that's what I see, rejection. And how do we overcome this painful past? Yeah, because I have been rejected a few times. So this is something very close to my heart and something that I also healed myself. And that way I can help others heal that, to see again that painful experience is something that is meant to happen for us to learn and to grow, to become a better person. And to see that painful experience is something that we need to forgive and we need to be grateful about. Yeah, because without these experiences, we will not be where we are. Yeah, I'm sure that some one day you got rejected and then you had to move forward, and suddenly you meet someone, and maybe you found a new opportunities. And for me, that is how I deal with my painful past. And also, we need to heal that emotions, because even though we move forward, that rejection feeling is still within us. And if we don't feel and we don't let go and we don't process it, wherever we go, that rejection will follow us. Right, because we are a mirror. Whoever that comes into our life is a mirror of what we need to learn. So if we haven't overcome that rejection and to make peace with it and see the positive, it will happen again. Yeah. And okay. And then the next one about peer pressure. Peer pressure, I believe it's something that is, again, that expectation that we set on ourselves, and that we really want to be a part of something, right? Because we are a social being. We want to be accepted into a group. So That peer pressure, again, is a test for us to really know and to honor ourselves enough, to love ourselves enough to know what is best for us. So, how we deal with peer pressure, I believe, is just go back to ourselves and know what is best, and to know that, the right people, the right group of friends will always be with us no matter what. No matter what we do, no matter, what level we are in life, in at work or relationship, single or not, the right people who really love us will always be there for us. So it will also help to select the right group of people.
Thank you,
Yes.
Cindy. I mean, it's like so much wisdom and just so much great tips that you have given us. I think some of our participants have also been putting it in the chat. So I think, of course, dealing with rejection, like I love the way that you share how we should deal with rejection. So it's really a lot about mindset and also
Mhm.
about perspective, because I think a lot of times when people think of rejection, immediately they think about it as a negative thing. But I love
Yes.
how you just change that around and say that when you get rejected, you should congratulate yourself. That's the first thing you should
Yes.
do. You got rejected, it's like, hooray, yay, I
Yes.
got rejected, right? Because it's like it shows that you actually did something. You actually, like went out of the norm. You really, like had the courage to express yourself. So wow, I love that. The next time I get rejected, I'm going to remember you, Cindy. I'm going to be like, wow, I I did it. And I think another thing that one of our participants have also mentioned, like rejection equals to redirection. I love that. It's like
Yes.
rather than seeing it as like you are being rejected, you're just being redirected to something better. And of course, like not wasting time on something that's not meant for us. Yeah, I
Yes.
love it. It's just so much wisdom, and I hope that you guys like are taking notes and see how this makes so much sense, right? And the other thing as well, on painful past, like I
Mm.
think I really like the way that you think. It's like painful past, yes, but just take it that it's meant to happen, right? Meant to
Mm.
happen so that we can grow from it. Like we need to be grateful, because without this painful past, then we would not be where we are or who we are. It makes so much sense. I mean, it's like when we are experiencing that past, obviously, like I mean, experiencing that pain, it's not very
Yes.
fun, right? But
Of
totally like
course.
what you say, I think if I look back at all the bad things that have happened in my life, right? I'm like, wow, without all these bad things that have happened, I definitely would not be where I am today. So I think
Yes.
yes, it's like you're totally right, right? And the other one that really stood out for me and like really made me reflect. I'm not sure whether the rest of you guys had that as well, which is whoever who's in our life is actually a mirror of what we need to learn. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
So that is so good, because I think a lot of times like we feel that I actually have quite a number of books in front of me. Like I love reading, so I have a lot of books, and then people buy me books as well. And I'm not sure whether you guys have seen this series, which is like it's called "Surrounded by Psychopaths," surrounded by I can't remember. There's a series to it other than "Surrounded by Psychopaths." There's also something else. So I think sometimes like I'm thinking to myself, oh my goodness, why am I surrounded by like like sometimes in our mind we think like crazy people or something, right? But I think what Cindy have just said is like whoever who's in our life is actually a mirror of what we need to learn. And I think if we kind of like look at things that way, like instead of feeling very upset about it, feeling very down about it, feeling like why me, right? Like really
Mm.
seeing it as a learning experience. Yeah. Thanks, Daniel. Narcissist. Yes, I think maybe. Okay. So thanks, Cindy, for that. I think that's so great, and I hope that you guys can really see how you can apply apply this to dating as well. So if you had some very negative experiences, like don't take it so negatively. Like really see it as like you need to be grateful for it. Like it's meant to happen because you can learn from it and move on from that. So thank you so much, Cindy, for sharing that. Okay, actually we do have some questions in our Q&A, so I just want to look at it. Okay,
Oh,
so we have a question here, Cindy, from YT. Okay, I think this is a very good question, which is,
sorry.
what if we are not aware of our own needs and wants? Because I think we talk about self-awareness, right? Like what if
Mm.
we are not aware, or like how can we be more aware?
When we are not aware ourselves, sometimes it's good when we have someone that we trust that is honest enough to tell us, then we can start from there. Because usually people around us would know us better than ourselves. Yeah, so you can ask a good friend or a family member that you trust who can tell you the truth and who is also balanced enough, not what do you say, subjective. Yes,
Yes,
it's more
makes sense. I think
objective is
sometimes
the
like
word. I'm sorry. Yes,
yeah, objective, yeah, so people around us, like they would know us well. And I think Cindy also brought up a very good point, which is make sure that they're objective, because I think sometimes our friends or our family members, they
mm-hmm.
love us so much, right? So they just want
Yes,
to kind of like hide us from the truth lah, because they don't want to hurt us. So I think like what Cindy say,
yes.
to find someone who's very objective, I think that would be very helpful. Okay, another question here, which is, what is the difference between loving yourself and being yourself? Do I need to pretend to be someone better to attract someone? What do you think, Cindy?
Mm, I believe that loving ourselves is actually being ourselves, right? Because when we love ourselves, we embrace ourselves no matter what. There's no conditions. So you don't love yourself only when you get that promotion or when you finally get that boyfriend or girlfriend, but you're just really being yourself and you're happy being yourself. So it's the same thing. Yes.
Agree. Thanks, Cindy. Okay, so a very good question here from Claudia. So I think just now, like Cindy, you talk about peer pressure, right? So
Hmm.
Claudia's question is how to handle FOMO, fear of missing out.
FOMO, yes. So now the word is JOMO, right? Joy of missing out. So I believe that FOMO it's something again of expectation, right? That we set on ourselves that we need to be a certain someone or to be in a certain group doing a certain activity. So I suggest that now from now on we have the joy of missing out instead and really enjoying being ourselves with ourselves or with the people that we really want to be with, doing the activities that we really love doing.
Yes, yes, I like that. And I think just to recap on what Cindy said earlier about peer pressure, right? So I
Mm,
think I really like what she said as well, because I think peer pressure is really, or even FOMO is really, we want to be part of something, we want to be accepted. So actually, it's a test for ourselves to really see
mm,
what is most important for us as well, right? So I think like
yes,
what Cindy have mentioned, instead of FOMO, like JOMO, so joy of missing out, so that we can actually focus on things that are truly important to us, or people who are truly important to us. Yep.
yes.
We have a question from Stephanie. So Stephanie say, after accepting the painful past, what are some of the ways to let go and move forward?
Okay. So yes, accepting is the awareness, right? And then we accept that it happened. And the next step is to let go of that emotions, that whatever that pain, maybe you feel rejected, you feel abandoned, and to see the blessings. I would do, for example, a meditation or reflection, just going back to that experience and to see it from a new perspective and to see why that person did what he or she did to us and see the lessons. And after that, we forgive, and then we see the blessings. And then what we have to learn. So we focus on the learnings. Yes.
Yeah, make a lot of sense. Yeah, and I think that's what people have spoke about, like maybe getting out of very difficult relationships, or even divorce, or even when one partner is cheating on the other, right? Like I think like Cindy, like
Yes.
you mentioned, so really not focusing on what has transpired, not really
Mm-hmm.
like like calling each other's names, or like
Yes.
even like blaming each other and things like that, right? Because I think if we just keep going into that, then we are just going to continue that vicious cycle of hurting each other. But like what you say, is
Yes.
just focusing on what are the learnings from it.
Yes.
Yes, thank you for that. So I think we have a very relevant and topical question here, which I think maybe is not so much just in Malaysia, which is where this attendee is from, but
Mm.
probably in a lot of the other locations that we're in as well. So the question is, the series of lockdowns in Malaysia, has really dampened social lives, and the hope of dating or meeting new people now seem really dim. How do we get out of this negativity?
I believe that we get out of this negativity by seeing the positive. That what has COVID. What is that blessing of COVID? Yeah, for me, for example, I get to spend more time with my parents, which I didn't have time before because they're always at home now. So I feel just shift. Instead of focusing on the negative, we shift and see something. You know how when usually we like to turn right, now we see try to turn left. And then when we change direction, usually we see something new and that positive. Yeah.
Yep, very simple, but I agree it
Mhm.
works.
Yes.
Another question here, so also about painful past. So, like this person is saying that usually it takes years to heal. Like, how can we just speed up this whole healing process?
The speed up, I believe sometime when we speed up, we also jump, right? We suppress and oh no, I'm okay, I'm okay. So of course we can shift very fast again when we see that blessings, and then we love ourselves enough and we honor ourselves enough that we need to go through this healing and to heal the emotions so that we can become a better person. Yeah, so just make sure that we go through all the taking out all the suppressed emotions and not giving us a timeline. Again, we don't want to pressure ourselves, but we just want to honor ourselves. And once we do that, I believe that healing will come at the time that is meant for us.
So, maybe one way I'm just thinking, could it be like maybe working with someone on it? Like, because I guess, I mean, we can always, of course, just do it on our own. But do you feel that
Yes.
generally, if like maybe we are working with a counselor, or we are working with a therapist, or I mean, someone who is have experience in this field, like maybe that can also help to speed up the process?
Yes, definitely. When we are in pain, it's good that we have someone who can help us, be it someone that we trust or someone professional, because they will know all the right steps. Right? There's no jumping or going maybe in the wrong direction, right? The opposite direction. So yeah, definitely someone who can help us, a professional, will definitely get us into the right direction and to heal fully. And of course, that person
Thank
will give
you.
us that motivation too. Yes.
Yep, agree. Like a lot of questions are coming in, so I'm just going to combine two questions into one because I think
Okay.
it's quite relevant. So, one question is, what advice do you have for those who already want to give up? Okay.
Okay.
And then the other question, which I guess maybe it's quite related, is that if I loathe myself, like meaning I hate myself, how can I start to love myself again? So I guess maybe it's kind of like related.
Okay. For me is to ask first, why do you want to give up? And whether you want to be in a relationship or do you want to be where you are right now. So just again to honor yourself and to ask this question that no matter what, you are still worthy. Because I believe that sometimes we do something, mostly it's because we want love. Yeah. So just going back to ask yourself what is it that you want will help us. And if you don't want a relationship, it's also okay. Yeah, no one say that you have to be in a relationship, but I believe, of course, relationship will take us higher. Yeah, it's that learning that when we meet someone, right? Definitely that person will make us a better person. So we need to again have the right reasons for everything and not to pressure ourselves to why we want certain thing. And if you loathe yourself, right, that is the question is
Yep.
to just go and reflect and see again that why do you hate yourself, and to find that one thing that you love about yourself. I believe there is something. And again, if you can't, ask others, because usually we're so hard on ourselves that we cannot see. So it's good again to find a friend that you trust to tell you what is it that is so great about you. Yeah, and then we start from that. I believe, when we find something, it will grow. Yeah, it's the hardest always to find that first thing. Yeah.
Thank you, Cindy, for that. I totally agree with you. I think sometimes we are just so caught up with like all these negative thoughts, we like cannot see past it, right? And again, I
Yes.
think asking other people, like definitely they will be able to share with us. So thank you so much, Cindy, for all your great tips. I think definitely we all have learned, at least one great tip or many great tips from you. So maybe those of you who are tuning in right now, do share with us in the chat, like what is your biggest takeaway from tonight? Because like I always say at our webinars, we are looking for you to actually have takeaways, to have action plans, to have very concrete things that you are actually going to do after this. Because like we don't want you to just come here to be entertained, even though yes, that's something that we are looking to do to make it fun and engaging at the same time, but we really want you to be learning as well and to be able to apply what you have learned like tomorrow or even immediately. So do share with us in the chat right now. And as you do that, I just want to share with you, we always prepare something special. So tonight we do have a webinar gift. Okay, so all you need to do is just go to the link that we're going to share right now, and you can get a copy of this free ebook that we are sharing. It's called 4 Strategies to Start Loving Yourself. So I think very apt to what we are sharing tonight. And of course, tonight we also have a very special gift from Cindy as well. So first and foremost, of course, I want to thank Cindy for taking her time here tonight and sharing so generously with our participants. And definitely, like I say, Cindy sharing, is just so profound. And I think, Cindy is so wise. Like I personally have been taking a lot of notes, and I really can see how this can make a difference in my life as well. So do follow Cindy on her Instagram, which is at cindy.gozali. And also
Okay.
Cindy have something special for you guys as well, so you can check it out. And with that, I also want to share with you that next I think it's 2 weeks from now, right? Or maybe because you guys are asking for more frequent, who knows, like there might be something that might come out. So we are going to be doing our Love Collective. For those of you who have heard of who have been to Love Collective, I think you know what it is about. For those of you who have not to worry. So basically, it's like we are going to work together as a collective, as a group, to help each other solve our problems, to share our thoughts, to share our experiences. So if you are interested to be part of this Love Collective, do feel free to sign up for our webinar at lunchactually.com/webinar. So with that, I just want to take this time once again to thank Cindy for joining us tonight. Say thank you to her as well in the chat. It's been really, really awesome. So do like get in touch with Cindy. She has very generously offered some slots for her online wellness membership at the Golden Space Global. So all you need to do is just to email her, and the deadline is Wednesday, 26th of May. So please do thank Cindy by saying thank you in the chat. And it's been really, really
Thank you.
awesome spending time with you guys. Okay, let me just go through what you guys have said that you have learned. Okay, let me see. Rejection is a
Wow.
redirection. Totally. Ho Chin say honor yourself. Wan Ying say law of attraction. Stephanie say find one thing that you love about yourself. Purpose say congratulate yourself on rejection and move on. Yeah, I love that, man. Next time I get rejected, I'm gonna say yay, congratulations, and I'll think of Cindy. Stephanie say know your passion. Christian say new cool acronym JOMO. Yes, JOMO stands for joy of missing out. Firefly, honor yourself, accept yourself, take blessings. Yes, I think Cindy have mentioned this word blessings a lot. Irene say need to forgive and be grateful. Don't rush the process. Billy say accept ourselves of what we are wholeheartedly. Totally agree. Adela say reflect back on myself, be true to myself. And Firefly also say search for some help. Yeah, totally. I think sometimes we cannot do it all on our own, and like getting professional help is definitely something that will help us a lot. Yep. So with that, we are now at 10 p.m. Thank you so much, guys. And
Wow.
I also just want to say thank you to Cindy once again for
Thank you.
joining us and sharing your wisdom with us. Yeah, I wish you all the best. Enjoy your
Thanks.
time
Thanks for
in
having
Bali,
me.
and I look to catch up with you again when you are next back in Singapore.
Yes, I definitely will. Thank you so much for this. I had a lot of fun and feel so much excitement in the chat too.
Thank you. Good night, Cindy.
Good night.